This is a full-size model.
Can you show us?
Which part?
All of it.
The whole thing? I don't think we can show you the whole thing, right?
The death of Australia's car manufacturing industry was Elon Musk's gain. So you've been here from the very beginning?
From the very beginning.
Australian Ben Burnett, that's him on the right, used to work for Holden in Melbourne. He now manages clay modelling of new Tesla cars.
We should be doing it in our own country.
Fellow Aussie Ron Polonsky used to work at Ford. I can imagine there's a huge attraction in designing an electric vehicle from the ground up.
And that allows us to kind of rethink how the car's designed and manufactured. You know, we challenge everything and then we change.
Det är många som inte liksom är aktiva och har koll. Jag kan inte kolla. Det var en gång. Vi borde kunna klara av frågan. Internetköp. Ni köper
I agree with everything about the electric car movement. They're environmentally friendly first and foremost. They're on the leading edge of the technology curve, and they're socially responsible. Electric cars seem the only way forward. Initial reactions to the discussion were mixed. People didn't believe that an electric car could be anything more than just a city car. Even in a Canadian winter, the snow and ice don't pose any problems. With the low center of gravity and the instant power, winter doesn't pose any issues. It's a pleasure to be able to drive past a gas station and not care what the price of gasoline is, and recognize that I'm not contributing to any of the pollution that so many other cars on the road are. I love the legacy that leaves behind for future generations. I also enjoy the conversations with other people who are interested in making the step to go electric. The car is instantly fast. You step on the accelerator and you go. There's no lag, there's no wait, it's just performance. The speed and acceleration is so instant that it sucks you into the back of your seat. It's just fun. Performance-wise, it stands up to some very expensive high-performance vehicles, yet this is a sedan that you can throw your family in and go for a Sunday drive. I love the versatility of it. The fact that I can do anything with this vehicle and still feel like I'm driving a high-powered sports car. Because the electric motors are small, efficient, and with very few moving parts, it's an incredibly silent ride. You can put people in the back seat and have a normal conversation without raising your voice. This car is very well built, and their attention to detail makes it one of the safest cars on the road. Furthermore, the company has a vested interest in making their cars better, and that means better even after you've made your purchase. As software is developed, increasing the functionality of the vehicle, it's sent out automatically through over-the-air updates. This means it's the only vehicle in the world that gets better the longer you own it. No. As far as the daily commute goes, most people don't come close to the 400-kilometer range that it gives you on a full charge. The small learning curve comes when you go on longer road trips. Then, with a little bit of forward thought and planning, you can plan your route accordingly to take you through areas that have chargers. The navigation system in the console can help you with this, as well as websites like PlugShare. Not at all. especially in winter. I don't miss the smell, I don't miss the convenience, and I really don't miss the price. A Tesla's running costs are just a fraction of an internal combustion engine. On top of that, there are no maintenance charges apart from putting in a little windshield washer fluid and air in the tires. For many people, yes, and it's becoming increasingly easier with more charging stations coming online every year. The world is running out of oil, and I believe that this offers us a sustainable automotive solution. And the technology is really only poised to get better.
Hi, I'm Arnie Gunderson from Fairwinds Energy Education. Historians will look back on 2015 as a turning point for producing electricity during the 21st century. The data is in. Building new nuclear power plants is too expensive and takes too long. Global climate change can be prevented with a renewable electric grid that will become the new normal. In the United States and in Europe, August is usually a slow news month, with so many families either on vacation or preparing for a new school year. However, in Japan, August 2015 has been a time of great sadness and remembrance during the 70th commemoration to the victims of the nuclear bombing of Nagasaki and Hiroshima. Japan's figurative leader, Emperor Akihito, broke new ground in his address at the memorial service held August 15th to mark the 70th anniversary of the end of World War II, expressing, quote, "Feelings of deep remorse over the last war, I earnestly hope that the ravages of war will never be repeated." Akihito's statements are an important balance in Japan to elected Prime Minister Abe's push to restart nuclear power and to remilitarize Japan. Remilitarization is frightening for the world because Japan's existing nuclear power plants have produced many tons of plutonium that could produce hundreds of nuclear bombs if the Japanese chose to build them. Even though more than 70% of Japan's citizens objected to the restart of any of Japan's 54 nuclear reactors that were shut down after the Fukushima Daiichi triple meltdown, the Abe regime started up the Sendai reactor August 11th, 2015 anyway. Sadly, the reactor is only 30 miles or 50 kilometers from a very active volcano, which has the people in Japan even more distressed. Does the startup of this old nuclear power plant mean that Japan and the world have reached a renaissance for nuclear power? Absolutely not. News headlines should have read, only one nuclear reactor out of 54 is allowed to start up, or maybe 28 of Japan's original 54 reactors will never operate again due to safety risks, rather than the worldwide headlines touting the Japanese government pushed to get one single reactor restarted after 5 years. Actually, for the nuclear industry, the future of nuclear power remains bleak, not just in Japan, but worldwide. Why? Historians will see 2015 as a turning point in the world's energy paradigm because viable renewable energy is now cheaper and more reliable than nuclear power will ever be. Let's make a brief comparison. In the United Kingdom, the new Hinkley Point nuclear reactor is projected to produce power at 16 cents per kilowatt hour. While in the United States, the North Anna reactor in Virginia is expected to produce power at 19 cents per kilowatt hour. Nuclear costs continue to skyrocket upward at every plant throughout the world. At the same time, costs of renewables continue to plummet in 2015. Solar now costs less than 4 cents a kilowatt hour, while wind costs less than 3 cents a kilowatt hour. But the real game changer is that the cost to store electricity has plummeted as new storage technologies are burgeoning worldwide. By thinking outside the box and starting from scratch, Elon Musk and his Tesla Corporation created battery storage, in which electricity costs will end up somewhere between only 2 cents and 5 cents per kilowatt hour to store. For years, the nuclear industry has claimed that only nuclear power could generate fossil-free energy when the wind is not blowing and the sun is not shining. Engineering ingenuity has created incredible advances so that solar electricity plus storage costs less than 9 cents and wind electricity plus storage costs less than 8 cents. Compare those consumer-friendly costs to nuclear power. That is now at least twice as expensive. Nuclear power still has the horrendous toxic legacy of radioactive waste that humankind and the nuclear industry still cannot figure out how to store for 250,000 years. Yet Musk and Tesla have clearly showed that humankind can store electricity from solar overnight. You may have heard me say before that building new nuclear power plants will make global climate change worse. First, designing and building a new nuclear plant will take between 15 and 20 years. Just look at the Arriva nuclear reactor design failures in Finland and in France that have led to at least a decade-long delay. Vogtle in Georgia, under construction for the past 3 years, has now fallen 3 years behind schedule. And such a waste of money on nuclear power that will take money away from renewables that can come to market more economically, faster, and cleaner. Why would anyone want to spend 16 cents on electricity generated by a power plant that takes so long to build, when electricity produced for less than half that price could be available in less than 1 year? Lastly, whether one believes in climate change or not, higher ocean, lake, and river temperatures are shutting down nuclear power plants because the cooling water is too hot to cool the reactor fuel. In 2015, the forecast is simple. Dirty forms of energy like coal, nuclear, oil, or fracked gas are no longer cheaper and certainly not cleaner or safer than renewable alternative power, like solar, wind, wave, and geothermal. As Victor Hugo once said, all the forces in the world are not so powerful as an idea whose time has come. I'm Arnie Gunderson from Fairwinds. We'll keep you informed.